Hey everyone, Jack here, TalkNorwichCity. I hope you're all doing very well indeed. Welcome back to another video and another match preview video. It feels very much like we're back in the Championship at the moment. We're talking about a game against Bournemouth and it's on Tuesday night. I haven't just played on Saturday, but of course it's Carabao Cup week. I know. Hold the excitement just for the moment. And Norwich City have a game against the aforementioned Bournemouth. As always with these match preview and also the match review videos, a massive thank you to OneFootball for sponsoring them throughout the season. I really like OneFootball to see what's going on with the opposition. I know what's going on with Norwich City, although going on there, having a look at all of the things collated in one place is brilliant. But with the opposition, it's difficult to keep track of what's going on, especially when they're in a different division as Bournemouth are. So I headed over to the OneFootball app. You can download it in the description. It's completely free. I saw that they beat MK Dons 5-0 to come up against us in this round. They actually played it on the 31st of July, which is a long while ago. And they're going quite well in the Championship as well. They're 7th place. Their most recent game was a 2-2 draw against Blackpool. Goals for Solanke. And Solanke, 2 goals for him. They were 2-0 up. They came back to 2-2. So disappointing for them last time out. But then it was 2-0 win against Birmingham. Birmingham were going quite well. 2-1 win against Forest and a 2-2 draw against West Brom. We know all about Bournemouth. We played them twice last season. They got the better of us on 2 occasions that time around. But this is a completely different game and almost a game where there's a bit on the line for Norwich City. Often I come into these cup games with not much appetite to progress because usually we're in the Championship and I just see them as a bit of a distraction, I must admit. But this time around, I think there's a bit of importance on this for Norwich City. Not going on to win the Carabao Cup. I doubt that will happen. But in terms of this specific moment in time, I think there's importance on this for Norwich City because the start of the season has been challenging. Defeats to Liverpool, defeats to Manchester City, no goals scored, 8 conceded, I think 1 shot on target between both of them 2 games. And a lot of people are saying, including myself to some extent, we can't be thinking too much about the Premier League and how the results go until Watford, which is in a couple of weeks' time. We play Leicester and Arsenal before that. Now that's all well and good, but we need to kind of deem where our performances are at. Now we had that brilliant win against Gillingham in pre-season. Gillingham weren't at the races. They're a couple of divisions below us. Yes, Bournemouth are a division below us, but there's not too much difference between the two sides. So this is going to be a nice barometer to see where we're at. It's also going to be a nice way to hopefully start to bed in some of these players that we've brought in for big money. Or maybe not so much the big money factor, just we want to see what kind of players we've got at our disposal. Now the exciting thing is, for those of you going, we might be getting to see Brandon Williams. He's signed on loan from Manchester United today, which is a good bit of business. I mean, I've spoke about it in length in the video. If you haven't seen that, go and check it out. It's all about Brandon Williams in terms of can I see him dislodging Yanulis or Aarons? Probably not, although having seen what happened to Yanulis at half-time against Manchester City, possibly Farke will deem Williams as the first choice. I think he has to start here if he's allowed. I think there's still a bit of work to do with the Premier League and the FA in regards to getting him registered in time, but I think he will probably play. And then in terms of the squad, I'm looking at it and I've got this down. I've got Angus Gunn, Ballymumba, Ben Gibson, Big Andy, Williams, Jakob Sorensen in midfield next to Kenny McLean, Christos Tzolis, Kieran Dowell, Onel Hernandez and Josh Sargent. Now there's a lot of changes there. Most of the squad has been changed, barring Ben Gibson. A lot of people saying let's just go all out and let's just progress because we need to pick up wins. I agree to a certain extent. Well, I wouldn't be getting silly and I wouldn't be throwing players out there that we want to risk injury with. I definitely wouldn't start Teemu Pukki. I think his performance levels haven't been good enough this season. I think there's reasons because of that. And I think Josh Sargent will be desperate to get minutes under his belt and desperate to get a goal, and it's a good opportunity here as well. Once you've got that first goal, you can really start to kick on. I think Kieran Dowell's a genuine contender for actually starting in the Premier League, hence why I'd start him. I think we need to see Christos Tzolis. He's a player who Daniel Farke described today as possibly going on to become one of the best wingers in the world, so there's hype around him. And yes, we don't want to rush him into things, but a cup game against Bournemouth on a Tuesday night in front of a not packed Carrow Road feels like a good opportunity to test the waters with him. Onel's been on the bench, or not even in the squad, so far this season, so he brings excitement. Get him in there. Let's at least get him some minutes. I think the midfield is the interesting one, because of course you've got Gilmore and Leigh Malou who could start. I'm thinking Kenny McLean and Sorensen. Kenny McLean was one of our best performers in the Championship last season. Jakob Sorensen we haven't seen really at all this season. And I think possibly he could be a Premier League starter. Now, of course, he played at left back, didn't he? In the Championship, he's a midfielder. And I think that central defensive midfield position, well, is incredibly lightweight. And I know that Norwich City are trying their utmost to bring someone in, but in Jakob Sorensen, you might well already have that player there. The defence, again, Brandon Williams, if available, has to start. Great opportunity to get him up to speed. Big Andy, again, minutes under his belt required. Ben Gibson, bit of stability. Ballymumba out on the right, who got torn apart on Saturday when he was brought on, but I think Ballymumba's good enough to go up against Bournemouth. And then I think the only position we can basically guarantee is that Angus Gunn will be playing, which will be lovely for him. I think, you know, he's probably Norwich City's future number one when Tim Krul moves on or retires. So it's a good opportunity for Angus, who will be desperate already to be trying to make his mark as number one as well. So lots of change. I'm fascinated to see how Farke plays this, actually, and I'm fascinated to see how Norwich City perform, because you need to be putting in a response, granted against Championship opposition, but the fans will be expecting something impressive here. And I think even fans like myself who aren't particularly excited by cup competitions, and I, as I said at the start of the video, deem them as distractions on many occasions, I don't think it is this time around. I think Norwich need to go at this and go at this well. And the team I've said there, yes, granted it's second string, but it should still be more than enough to beat the opposition. I'm not saying I'm right, and if you guys want to get your team selections down in the comments, I'd welcome them, and I'd love to read through them all. I often find it a bit of a puzzle putting these together. You know kind of what the team's going to be like on a Saturday in the Premier League, cup competitions, throw that out of the window. I don't have a clue. All I do know is I want to see a performance, and I think Norwich City will have enough to get it done. I doubt this is very high up the priority list for Bournemouth. They're coming off the back of a disappointing result against Blackpool, so I just can't see them being that up for this. With that being said, Norwich City still need to bring it. As I said, a big thanks to OneFootball for sponsoring this video, and all of our other sponsors as well. Thank you so much, and thank you so much to all of you for your support throughout the season so far. We've got a live podcast coming on Wednesday where we'll be discussing that clip from TalkSport that all of you are asking Chris and I to react to, so we'll be having a look at that on Wednesday, and there's daily content this week, so if you're not already, it's a great time to be subscribed to Talk Norwich City. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all again very soon. Bye bye.